You
It's all
dig?
good.
You know what
Let's
I mean?
begin.
So,
Let's get it.
so listen. First topic. Katt Williams interview with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay. Wow.
You know what's
What
funny?
are your
I
thoughts when you
saw
first heard
I
it?
saw more I saw more of that clips
Hmm.
than the entire episode, and I didn't even know he was. I didn't even know he was being recorded by Unk, and then I
Yeah.
see him on multiple platforms, clipped up, chopped up, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I just see like bits and pieces. He's talking about we call it, Kevin Hart over here. He's talking about called whoever is over here. He just went off. He went off on like Cedric the Entertainer. And I was like,
Hmm.
bro. And then I ended up watching the whole interview. Amazing interview.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Yeah.
If you have time, I think you should check it out. But you know, I think Katt Williams 90%, actually, I would say, no, 85% of what he said is true, to be honest.
Hmm.
I think it's true. I think
Okay.
maybe 15% is stretched or exaggerated because to get a reaction from the industry like that immediately, come on, like if it didn't bother you, you wouldn't care.
Mm. That's a
You know what
good
I'm
point. I
saying?
didn't think of it
So
that way.
if it didn't bother you, you wouldn't care. That's what
Mhm.
it was funny because some people were saying, is this Cat Williams or is this Charleston White?
Bro, could you imagine both of them in the same room
Oh my God, the
talking
energy,
about different topics? You can imagine it. They'll break the
bro.
internet. That would really, really break the internet. Charleston White and Katt Williams going in.
Bro,
I couldn't believe it.
I watched it was funny because
Mhm.
Shannon Sharpe was getting what do you call it, negative feedback because they said like,
Mm.
oh, like you weren't a journalist, you weren't asking him questions, you weren't saying this, you weren't saying that. But like
Mhm.
his response was right. He's like I'm not a journalist. He goes, I'm an entertainer. I don't have the questions. I bring on people to entertain people like you. So for me to ask questions and see where he stands and his stance and so forth and this and that, like he's like, if you want that kind of stuff, go watch 60 Minutes, go watch First 48, go watch
Mm.
these things. Like, why would I, who's an entertainer, ask questions related to journalism? He's like, that's not my lane.
Mhm.
And I'm like, the guy's right. Like,
He
he's
is
absolutely
right.
right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's his
it's
show.
not, it's a show. Like, so,
Yeah.
so, and if anything, which, like, bad publicity is good publicity. So
Mhm.
he, for the next week, maybe week and a half, he's going to be trending, by default.
I mean, attention is currency today, right?
Bingo.
So if you got attention, you got currency coming your way.
Yeah.
Sad to say, but that's what it is,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
or bad, right? Also, as well, I think he set some type of mark, a YouTube mark, about the fastest growing video, the most watched video within 48 hours.
48 hours.
I think he had
48
15
hours.
million views within 48 hours. And I think
Wild.
the last look that I saw before the show, I think it was at 21 million.
And that's and that's and that's
So
and that's long content, by the way, not the clips. Long content.
facts.
Because
That's a good
if you
point.
because think about it, every I'm pretty sure most people saw the clips on other pages
Yes.
before
Yes.
they went to like Shannon Sharp's page or before they went to like YouTube and they watched the long content. Everyone saw it clipped up, and then eventually they're like, like we'll watch the whole thing to see the whole build up of like this whole like shooting range. Like he went on like a
Hmm.
fire squad. Everyone in the industry was catching bullets. You know
Right.
what I'm
Everyone
saying?
get it. Everyone get strays. It doesn't
Every
matter. Right.
everyone's strays. No, no,
He
no.
let off
These
a
no, no, no.
Gatling gun.
Those
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
bro. Those weren't strays. Every bullet had a name on it.
But let me say this though. Let me say this. Do you think there was a lot of hyperbole mixed in with truth, or was he spitting just straight truth?
No, it's Cat Williams, bro. Cat Williams is known to stretch the truth. He's known to bend the
Hmm.
truth. He's known these things.
Hmm.
Is it coming from a place of truth? 100%. But is it
Hmm.
mixed up with falsehood and 100% as well? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
because and that's why people and you know what's funny? That's the crazy thing about the internet because you have to like siphon between the truth narrative and the falsehood. Like you have to like and if you just like take everything you are fed, then you're gonna wholeheartedly be lost. Um,
Yeah.
was there some truth to what he said? Yes. Can you fact check it? 100%. Is it 100% true? No, definitely not. Definitely not
Yeah.
100% true. You know what I'm
It was
saying?
just some stories are too sensational to really believe that all of it can be true.
Come on, bro.
And
It's Katt,
yeah.
bro. Katt Williams he's been on the news many times. He's had his own fallouts. He's done his own things.
Hmm.
Was it an amazing strategy to what do you call it, promote himself and have himself the number one trending topic for like 48 hours, 72 hours?
Hmm.
Great PR. I'll give him that.
Hmm.
Amazing PR. Because till this day, we're still talking about Katt Williams. You know what I'm
We
saying?
are. We are. That's
You
our
know,
first topic we talked about today.
you know
So
what I'm
yeah.
saying? This
Yeah.
guy, this guy, bro, covered topics from like Jonathan Majors to Kevin Hart to Tiffany Haddish to Cedric the Entertainer. He touched upon to freaking all these things. Like he touched on so
Hmm.
many topics
Hmm.
across different sectors and different what do you call it, platforms. Like he's, like he did so many things, and I'm pretty sure even Shannon Sharpe didn't know what was going on, and he didn't. And if you watch the interview, he didn't know what questions to ask him, because the minute he asked a question, he went on off a complete tangent to
Hmm.
like something that
Hmm.
wasn't even asked.
He said post I think post interview on Nightcap, I believe. He said that he just let him go. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
he
he was
did.
talking to Gilbert Arenas. He said at a certain point, I just let him go and talk. And
Yeah,
people may say, well, I should have been more critical or challenge him on some of his answers. But at that point, he's like, I'm here to be neutral. I'm here to just ask questions, and he's here to supply the answers. And he
correct.
said that even before they even started the interview, that he was coming in already on one. Like he was just the first 30 minutes he came into the room, the set, he was already proclaiming stuff and talking about things before they even put the record on.
There was
So that can
a
tell you it was for greatness that day. It was
there was
greatness.
a there was a part in the video that actually made me laugh where Shannon Sharp's like, I'm gonna have to take that drink from you, and he goes, and then he replies, he goes, what drink? He's like, you're the one that's been drinking more than I am. I just been sipping. And I couldn't stop laughing because such a Cat William reply.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of everything. When I was looking at this interview, I looked at the beauty of just human beings. Like we're all so different. We
Yeah,
need
yeah,
Cat Williams in our lives. We need ABs in our lives. We need other people with different personalities. We need all these collection of people to make
yeah,
life interesting.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Life would be
No, you're
so
right.
vanilla, so boring if everyone was the same way, same style, same response. So you need people like that. And I appreciate people like Cat Williams, regardless of how expansive his mind and creativity gets. He does tell some truth. You can't deny that there's some truth probably involved in what he's saying. And he is himself authentically and unapologetically. I like people like that. I
You know
really
what's
do.
crazy? You know which answer I actually liked the most? His reply to Kanye West did you watch that part when he was?
Yeah, I watched the whole
I
thing.
think
Yeah.
I think I think his answer regarding Kanye West was a superb answer, and that also goes back to what you said. Now we need people of a certain grandeur where they can be who they are, and we accept them. And
Hmm.
when he's like,
Yes.
was he used an amazing analogy. He goes, how are we gonna expect someone to play basketball when we're telling them that they're playing hockey? And I'm
Yeah.
like, he's right,
Yeah.
he's right,
True. That's
he's right.
true.
Like,
Yep. And then,
yeah, sorry,
the thing is that was interesting was that with Kanye West, and I like the way that he put it. Cat Williams said, we're watching someone and people are laughing and joking, commenting about this man who needs help.
yeah,
And people were just watching him, acting like he's not supposed to do this. Well, we know
yeah,
what he is, and everyone's just sitting here like it's comedy watching
yeah,
him, and expecting something different.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I thought that was
No,
really true as well.
no, but it's also the two face of society, in the sense that, like, oh, we're so big on mental health and all these things, but yet
Exactly.
no one's everyone's expecting a different outcome
Hmm.
when you know what's going to happen, regardless of what is. So we're just basically just giving out like fluffy words, basically flowery words, saying that we care, we
Exactly.
care, but we don't.
We
You
don't.
know, we don't. We actually we don't,
Some
and
people
that's
may in his circle, but the majority of us who talk about, oh, I wish he gets the help and things like that, some of us are laughing at him.
yeah.
Some of us are talking bad about him and using our tongue to slay him. And it's like you're seeing mental health in someone who actually has commented that, hey, I do take these medicines. Hey,
Hmm.
I do this. It does make me gain weight. It does make me say things I don't want to say sometimes.
Yeah.
And we are sitting here saying mental health, but I just feel like it's just pillow talk. Like, when I say pillow talk, I mean just soft. It's not
Yeah,
really
soft.
real. It There's no
No, it's not
firmness
real.
to it. It just molds to what you ever want to mold it to. And I think we just need
Flashy,
to be honest
flashy
about that.
words. Flashy
Yeah,
words, man.
yeah.
That's
Just
it.
words, man. Just a word
Yeah.
salad. And I don't know. But I liked what he said about that. And it's true. We're just watching him and say, oh, yeah, look at that. Like he's a zoo character or something like that. We do
No,
that with people
basically
with
he
mental
is.
health sometimes. And
Yeah, we do.
so yeah. Yeah, I get you on
No,
that
it's
one.
no, it's he touched upon. No, I thought Cat Williams touched upon a lot of things. And some of the things I ended up agreeing with. Obviously, I don't have a lot of the insides. I'm not part of Def Jam or comedy, whatever
Nope.
shows that he used. Like, I'm not part of it, so I'm not privy to those information that he used to have or he knows.
Right.
Obviously, when you're in those circles, and I've always said like the entertainment industry is very like snaky, snarky, all these things. So I don't know because who am I to judge or who am I to tell him? And we've seen the 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 skyrocket career Katt Williams has had. And then on top
Hmm.
of that, obviously, the higher you are, the harder you fall, right?
Hmm.
So we've seen him at his highest, and we've seen him at his lowest. Remember back in the late 2010s, and Katt Williams at one point was one of the
Oh,
biggest comedians in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like he was one of
absolutely.
the, if not the biggest, one of the biggest. So
Yeah, that Money
the
Mike
things
character
he's
just blew him out the water, AB.
come on, bro, come on,
Yeah,
like
that just introduced you to
So,
him. Yeah.
bro, even before that, like his comedy specials were like sold out. Like he
Yeah.
was, I remember in high school watching his comedy specials and all these things,
Yeah.
and this guy was a household item. You know, like he. I can say he if he was more PR friendly,
Hmm.
he could have been Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart.
But wasn't he trying to say that though?
He was saying he was in
Right?
essence he was saying that the issue is that the issue with Cat Williams, and the funny thing is they're like similar heights, similar. If because
Yeah.
if you watch Kevin Hart back in the day when he first started, Kevin Hart was raw, like he was raw.
Yes.
He the Kevin Hart that people know now and the Kevin Hart that first started, he was like his jokes were raw. He was more what do you call
Hmm.
it? More raunchy, more
Yep.
edgy,
In
all
your
these things.
face. Yep.
And you can see it by the crowd, the audience. It was predominantly a black crowd, and and excuse me, and he had great crowd service, all these things, and then I think something changed when he started going Hollywood. His content changed, and he started to become more PR friendly and more like he's in like kid movies and all these things and blah blah blah. So if Cat Williams was smart enough to click, you know what I'm saying, click and he could have been Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart, which he did mention.
Yeah.
Um, but I think he couldn't, and his downfall was like inevitable. Like it happened. Like we saw Cat Williams going to jail many times. We saw him like
Yeah.
possession of drugs. We saw him like guns, all these things, and the circle that he was in, all these things. So it added up. So now after he cleaned up his acts and he started, now I think he's like sober or something, whatever he does now. Um, I think he's just airing out his dirty laundry alongside everyone else's dirty laundry, and that's what made this interview so much more like
Mhm.
shocking and like impactful, because not only did he talk about himself, he spoke about everybody in the industry and he aired out everybody. He goes, "This guy, he was trash. This guy had no special. This guy, yeah, this he was just going off everybody."
But AB, it's just like anything. If you look at Cat Williams and all these comedians, they are employees or hired as freelancers to do a job, right? And sometimes as employers, you want to be able to predict what your employee is going to do, predict what your
Correct.
freelancer can do.
Correct.
So if you have someone like a Katt Williams, who you can't predict what he will do, he's an enigma, he's a mystery, he's unpredictable. Sometimes it's hard to put money and time and resources behind that, right?
Correct.
Because you're in the game of trying to extract and project, or I guess, yeah, project how much income you're going to make off this person.
Hmm.
But if Katt Williams gets in jail and does something egregious for the 20th time, or he says he doesn't want to do this, is hard to work with, or doesn't align with the studio, whatever, of course you're not going to put as much money behind it. And that's why he was saying, if I just wore a dress, then they know that I'm with them. They know that I'm
Oh,
aligned to what they
facts.
want to do. You know what I mean? They
Facts.
get it. It's already
Facts.
an unspoken thing that, hey, I'm with you. I'm riding for whatever you guys want me to do. I want to make the most money. And that's why he was saying that. He was like, I just wasn't someone that aligned with what they wanted. And other people did.
Yeah.
And they were okay with
There's
it.
a there was an old clip with Dave Chappelle and David Letterman, back like young
Okay.
Chappelle. Young
Okay.
Chappelle. And then it's a very, and this is Chappelle right before he went to Africa. Okay, this is Chappelle right before he went to Africa.
I think I
So
know what you're talking about, but I want to, yeah, hear it. Yeah.
he just lost the proprietary rights to his show. He lost the Chappelle show. He walked away from the $60 million deal. Okay, and then Leatherman was asking him. I forgot the question. I forgot the question he asked him. But basically,
Mhm.
Chappelle replied. He said basically, why is everybody in Hollywood, every male in Hollywood, wearing a dress? And this is back then, like when it was still a shock. Now it's like normal.
Mhm.
But he's like, why
Yeah.
is every man in Hollywood wearing a dress? He goes, and then he goes, everyone in Hollywood cannot be crazy. Okay,
Mhm.
and he made you question. He goes, people can have different situations, and maybe their area and maybe their environment is messed up, but not everyone can be crazy.
Mhm.
And he goes, and he said it is in what's the word he used a very particular word that forget, man, not the word, not indigenous, what's the word, anyways, he goes basically to uh limit people's situations and just label them as crazy is wrong. Okay, and
Mhm. Yeah, it
and this
is.
goes back to
It
what
is.
Katt Williams said. Okay, Katt Williams said the same thing. He goes, they wanted me to play a certain role. They wanted me to color between the lines, but I'm not that person. Okay, like you said, he's an enigma. Okay,
Mhm.
he is himself. He is authentically himself and will always be himself. Okay, and they have a certain agenda, whether you like it or not.
Mhm.
And if you don't play by the rules, then you can't play at all. So
Right.
then these people, like you said, certain image that you have to uphold, certain way you have to walk, certain way you have to talk, all these things. And if you don't check off these boxes, then they have to make a business decision and cut you off, regardless of
Right.
what it is. And these people on top are the ones, like you said, those are the ones that sign the checks. You know,
Yeah.
sadly.
Yeah. I mean, I think and we'll transition shortly. I think the first time I've noticed it as a kid
Yeah.
is looking at Martin. When I used to watch
Yes.
Martin's show, those five
Yeah.
seasons were amazing to me. It was like I was heartbroken when Martin went off the air. And then the next
Yeah.
time I seen him reappear, he didn't seem like the same character. I think he had a mental breakdown, and they
He
found
went to
him out jogging.
he had a
Yeah.
coma. He had a
Yes.
coma. Yes, yes, I
Yes.
remember that. He had a
And
coma. Sorry, cut you off. He had a coma, and then
yeah.
in the same episode that Dave Chappelle was being interviewed, um, Dave actually spoke to Martin after the coma, and
Hmm.
Martin told Dave that because Dave asked him to go, "How are you? How's things?" And then
Yes.
Martin's reply was like, it shocked Dave. He goes, when I was in that coma, it was the best sleep I've ever had.
I do remember this. Yes.
Yeah, it
I
was
didn't
the
know that
best sleep.
timeline existed the same.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
cut you off.
No, no, you're good. That's the insight that we want, you know? And that's what I'm saying. I noticed that and I'm like, he just wasn't the same after that. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of the pressures of things. Next thing I know, he was wasn't he like some Big Mama's House. He was wearing
Yes,
a dress,
he.
and he just seemed like
Oh,
a different character. Like it didn't seem like the same Martin that I grew up on. And like I said, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, my favorite actor, Robin Williams, wore a dress. Like funny, Mrs. Doubtfire. Like they're
Miss
funny, man.
Doubtfire. It's a
But I'm
goat
just
movie.
speaking to what Katt Williams is speaking to. You know what I'm saying? But let's transition because I'm looking at the time and everything. I can go on and
Yeah,
on about
I
this
can too,
topic,
man. I can go.
but
We can dig deeper
yeah,
if you want.
yeah, we could charboil this, bake this,
Yeah,
cook it, grill it, like
cook it,
whatever.
grill it, flip it,
You know what I mean?
sachet it.
But
You know what I'm saying?
no pun intended. But I'm going to address another topic, so we're going to go to another one now.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Um, so.